First dates can be a little intimidating to plan, right? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 don'ts and 5 do's to make sure that your first date is a success. Okay, so let's get to it. I want to start off with don'ts. So don't do any of these 5 things, okay? Number 1, don't be negative. Being negative is just ultimate attraction repellent. Nobody willingly pairs up with somebody who's just absolutely negative and depressed and unhappy. Ultimate repellent, okay? So don't talk negatively about yourself, about your life, about your job, about your ex, about your date, nothing. Don't speak negatively. I mean, it's just a better way to live your life, period, anyway. All right, number 2, don't try to be perfect. So don't focus so hard on saying the perfect thing or doing the perfect thing at all times. It's impossible. And furthermore, the more that you try to be perfect, the more that it backfires, because people look at you and what they're maybe not realizing is that something is bothering them, and it's bothering them and making them not like you. And what's actually occurring is when you're trying to be perfect, they're only seeing the side of you that is in agreement with them or doesn't cause a stir with them. And that's really uncomfortable for people because they're going to feel suspicious about that. This person always agrees with me. This person, never has conflict with anything that I say or do. And it makes them feel like something is missing. What's missing is all of you. You're showing them just one part of you, and you're not showing them the side that has a backbone or what you stand for, or the ability to stand up to them or disagree with them. That's something that you need to get out in the open, super fast. Like, I think that's super important on a first date, is that you can show people that I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to agree with everything that you say or do. Like, I'm not going to be that person. That is super attractive, okay? It doesn't always work out, but nothing ever works out. But what works out more is being genuine to who you really are. And I think if you're trying to be perfect, you're not being who you really are. So say more about who you really are, act more the way you really are. And don't be afraid of disagreement, of conflict. It's just mostly all about how you handle it, and ultimately the story that somebody tells themselves about you based upon their assessment of you as a total package. So if you do something wrong, hopefully they're still assessing you based on that total package. You didn't have to be perfect, so stop stressing it. All right. Number 3, I want you to stop having expectations of happily ever after. Don't go into a first date thinking that it's going to work out, it's going to be my dream guy or my dream woman, whatever, and we're going to live happily ever after. That is way too much pressure for a first date. Nobody wants that, and nor is it going to be constructive for having a great first date. Do you know the sort of pressure and sort of nerves that you're going to get and put on yourself when you think, oh my God, this could be the one? Don't do that. It's not a very good mindset. It's going to leave you nervous, and it's going to leave you just not being your best. Instead, how about just enjoying being on a date, getting to know somebody who seems pretty cool enough for you to want to meet them and hang out with them in person. So these people are basically going to be people who don't really bother you horribly. These are people that you wanted to get to know, so they're going to be pretty good. So let's not worry so much, and let's have more of that appreciation of our present company, and just getting to know new people, learn new things about what makes them tick, and how that can kind of just be fun for you to get to learn. All right, number 4, you will not argue about who pays on the date, okay? Here's the simple thing. Now, of course, I'm going to have a video for you if you want to check that out. There should be a link in the description or a card showing up. But what I want you to understand, big picture, whoever asked the person out on the date pays, okay? You invite somebody, you pay. But also, if there are going to be these situations where somebody wants to take care of a tip or split it with them, if they're adamant about it, you let them, okay? And here's why. As I already kind of started saying, it's more so about the story that someone has about you. And if their story is one of approval, one of you being cool, and one of you being a good person, they're not going to jump to the conclusion that you're the world's worst person if you let them, chip in on the tip. Or if they really are adamant, they're not going to think you're a horrible person because you failed the test and let them split the check with you. Look, this is a topic where I'm going to have to break it down into an entire video. It's not too complicated, but we want to make sure that you get it right. But big picture is you can't argue about paying for the date. Okay, it cannot happen. So you need to take it on as your responsibility that no matter what happens, like maybe things go to plan or they don't. Maybe someone, catches you, a little on surprise and says like, I'd like to split this or take care of the tip. You will not fight about it. Okay. The thing is for you to enjoy your time. And if someone still wants to be in your company and they enjoy it, you're having a good time, you roll with it. Okay. Number one, enjoy the date. Don't stress who pays. Okay. Number five, don't throw money at the dating experience as if that solves all the problems. You can't replace connection, making people feel comfortable, being open and honest, being a great communicator. You can't replace that by throwing money at the situation. It doesn't matter what restaurant you take them, it doesn't matter how much money you spend. It's all about the experience with you. Okay, that's what's the most important thing, is the experience shared with you, not how much money you throw at the situation. So don't think that you need to spend a lot of money to be successful and have a great first date. Sometimes money is helpful, but you know what? What I've found is that what is most important is just going back to what is truly important. And if you provide someone else a great shared experience, that's great because it was with you, great because it was something new, maybe something interesting. And it doesn't even have to be something new, but just new with you, interesting and fun with you. That's what it's about. All right, so now let's get fully into our list of do's. On your first date, do communicate effectively for coordination. So that means make sure that it's super easy for you guys to connect. So don't go MIA and do your thing where you don't respond to text or you don't make phone calls the day of or whatever. Make sure that you are really good at communicating about, hey, we're going to meet at this place, or I'll pick you up, or whatever the time is. If there are any adjustments that need to be made, you let people know, hey, I'm getting out of work a little bit later. Is it okay if we meet up 30 minutes later? You just have to communicate effectively. One of the things that people really screw up on is, maybe they can't make a date on time, and it really is upsetting when someone is sitting there waiting, and all you have to do is just pick up the phone, a text message, a phone call. Let people know, okay? People just want communication. If you're good at communication, you can get past even being late or having to kind of rearrange and change plans. Be good at communicating, okay? Number two, do be prepared for success, okay? There's so many people that I deal with dating, and I'm like, okay, well, if things were to go super well, are you prepared? And most of the time, people are not. So here are some examples of how you need to prepare for success. Let's go into a date assuming that everything could go perfectly and you could have a super connection. Well, what might you need to be prepared with? You might want to make sure that your car is clean in case you end up deciding to drive somewhere together or giving somebody a ride. You want to make sure that your car is not a mess. Same thing with your house. Imagine going back to your house. Is your place going to be appealing and appropriate? Is it going to be, or is it going to be dirty? You got to keep it clean. You have to have it orderly. And so you need to make sure that you're prepared for success. Make sure that bathroom is clean. Make sure that that bedroom is clean. Make sure that kitchen is clean. Make sure that, those sort of living spaces where people will be going will be appropriate and not a concern. So be prepared for success, even with having protection, if you know what I mean. All right. Number three, I want you to find opportunities to disagree. And when I say find, I'm not, that's kind of strong. But I want you to embrace. How about that? Embrace opportunities for disagreement. Why? Because as we've said in our don'ts, when you disagree, there's an opportunity there. There's an opportunity for you to reveal truth about yourself. Actually, I don't like that. Actually, I prefer this. No, I don't support that. I support this. When you do that, you're revealing a truth about yourself. And that's what we're missing when there's that person that's always in agreement or trying to do or say the right thing. When you're okay with disagreeing, you're okay with who you are, and you get to present that sort of strength and confidence to someone else. And believe me, that is ultimately a lot more attractive than being in agreement about everything. Don't be afraid to disagree. Obviously, there are couples who have like opposing political beliefs and they make it work. It's because they respect each other for having their own opinions and beliefs, and that's not the only thing that they needed to be attracted to that person. So you can actually be connected to and have attraction to someone who just disagrees with something that you are very strongly in support of. It happens. All right. Number 4, I want you to plan a backup or secondary activities. What happens if you wanted to go to a restaurant and you didn't make a reservation and they're never packed, but on this day they're like, it's going to be like a 45 an hour minute wait. Well, maybe you might want to plan for having a backup in the area. It doesn't mean that you need to make a reservation or anything, but you can say, well, how do you feel about waiting here? Is that fine with you? Or I know this great place. It's only about like 15 minutes down the road or 5, whatever it is. And we could probably get in as soon as we walk in the door. Have that on hand, ready and already thought about so that if something goes wrong, you have a backup plan. And further, I didn't just say backup, have a secondary plan. Secondary plan in case things do go well. What could you do to extend the date? If you have dinner, could you go get drinks? Could you go get an ice cream? Could you go get a walk? What's nearby? Are there places to visit? Are there places to just go and talk? These are what I'm talking about when I'm saying have a secondary plan for the date. If things go well, where you could go to take it from there and build upon the experience. Keep it going because obviously it's a shared experience that both of you are into. All right. Number 5, I want you to definitely consider what activities you're doing and make sure that they're fun, interesting, and I don't want to say new because the experience doesn't have to be new, but it has to be a positive shared experience. That's new helps. If somebody hasn't ever gone to a restaurant before or participated in a certain activity, well, that's always going to be cool and that's always going to be something that they remember, but it doesn't have to be new. What really has to be new is how the experience goes with you. How new is this experience when they share it with you? A lot of people can go and do the same thing. Actually, think about dinners. People go to dinners all the time on dates, right? What the difference is, it's not the food, it's the company, all right? Be the newness of being great company and having that great shared experience. So it depends on what you want to do, but do look for activities that are kind of new or unique or something where you two can bond. You two can also just have that shared experience where it's something a little bit more unique where you will be remembered or the other person will remember the experience, okay? So there you have it, my 5 do's, my 5 don'ts. If you have anything else to add, by all means, hey, I know I didn't cover it all. Wasn't trying to, but I wanted to throw you out some 5 do's, 5 don'ts so that you can have much better dating experience. Your first dates do matter. Put a little planning into it and make sure you're setting yourself up for success. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you appreciated the content, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you're sick of feeling stuck and you're ready to level up your game and your meh love life, take action now. Click the link below to visit our website and experience our virtual game advisor feature. Choose the path of your game journey from the recommendations and resources ready and waiting for you.